And I said, John, I'll do it for free, and tell me how much you need. I'll pay you to do it. I mean, this is John Mayall. Come on.
That's legendary musician and producer Tony Carey, who I spoke to just a couple of days ago before we learned of the sad passing of iconic bluesman John Mayall. I wanted to share this special interview clip of Tony sharing his incredible stories of John, from chicken and beer parties to the world's largest pornography collection. Tony's anecdotes offer a unique and personal glimpse into the life of the man behind the blues legend. It also includes a bittersweet story of an album that never came to be, that highlighted the struggles John Mayall faced late in his career. As I said, this is Tony Carey sharing some of his memories of John Mayall with me prior to learning of John's sad passing.
Beautiful guy. John Mayall would always have the same thing. He would he had one thing on his special wishes. They call it a rider, concert rider. And that was a roast chicken wrapped in tinfoil. And he would date them, put a piece of tape on it and date them. And he kept them for about a week, and they were roasting. And so he always had his chicken, and he would have parties in his room. And he had a road case, like the wardrobe case, like you carry your stage clothes in and stuff. And he'd open it up, and there was a TV, and he was famous for having the world's largest pornography collection until his house burned down in whenever. And he'd invite the guys in the band, and he said, all I can offer you is chicken, but I got a lot of that. And so we'd unpack these aluminum foil wrapped chickens and have a chicken and beer party with Uncle Johnny. We loved him.
What more could you ask for than chicken and beer parties? Indeed.
Chicken, beer, and hookers?
Well, if you've got the budget.
If you've got the budget. There's it's funny.
Tell us about this session with John Mayall then, legend.
John Mayall gave Eric Clapton his first starring role with the Bluesbreakers. And he's a lovely guy. And he had been the guest star on a tour on which I was a special guest. And this is a German artist, but big German artist, the biggest German artist. He's selling out arenas. And I got to know him. And just loved the guy. And after the tour, he said, can we do a record? I said, sure. So I went in and did his record, Chicago Line, for Island Records. And we were all happy, and it was great. And a few things on that stand out. Now, I thought blues, so I got him, especially, I thought I'd make him happy, this boutique amplifier guitar is way too expensive, red. You can see the tubes, the vacuum tubes, the valves.
Yeah.
And I thought that'd be one. And it turns out his guitar player was Walter Trout, who's a monster. And he came in and looked at this boutique amp and laughed, said, you got a Marshall? Marshall stack. So Walter blew the walls out. He's still my buddy. This is a long time ago. And now blues records don't sell. So now this is kind of sad. So typically don't sell very well. And he presented me with you get gold records. He presented me with a blue record, which is so fantastic.
That's cool.
John Mayall and the Bluesbreakers to Tony, thank you. And it's a blue record, mounted like a gold record, fantastic. Now, here's where it gets a little sad. About 2002, he called me. I was living in Spain, in Mallorca. And he called me and he said, remember how much fun we had? I said, oh, hell yes. And he says, you want to do it again? I said, oh, hell yes. And I was excited. And he would call me back a couple of weeks later. I was going to go to LA, and we're going to record it I would have done it at his house, like Rick Rubin does, just bring in some equipment, or Daniel Lanois does the same thing. Bringing in some equipment where he's comfortable, and just because he was getting on in years. And he says, oh man, I got to tell you, there's no money for the budget. And I won't name the label. Why they're all the same, so I won't name. But they actually wouldn't give him enough money, like for my plane tickets, my hotel, the equipment, the time. And I said, John, I'll do it for free, and tell me how much you need. I'll pay you to do it. I mean, this is John Mayall. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
And it never got made. And they ended up using I mean, he made a live album. I mean, somebody set 2 microphones in on a tape deck in a club he was playing, and that was his album. And that's really, really sad because, man, that guy contributed so much
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
to, I mean, everything. He lived in Laurel Canyon. Blues from Laurel Canyon, I think, was a John Mayall album. And he lived in Laurel Canyon is a part of West Hollywood, folks. And I was a huge fan from him as a teenager, so this didn't turn out well.